Testing 1,
I'm
2.
good.
Oh, I gotta get the video. Oh God, start recording. There it is. There it is.
It's like we're yelling at the kids again.
Oh, fuck. Hello, Unscripted. We're stripped down. No Craig, no Cuz this week.
Stripped down, baby.
I'm not
Get
keeping
better,
up
Craig. Get better, buddy.
with the wrestling.
Lean, mean.
I'll jump right
machine.
into it too. Like I just watched SmackDown. I know you guys weren't able to or whatever. The Rock came back to SmackDown. Also, I saw Trish Stratus came in there and saved Tiffy time. And then Charlotte came in there and attacked Tiffy again because she chose her for Mania. So they're starting to heat that up. And then The Rock came back, called Cody out there, basically ended it with he pointed to his shoulder, which he had the belt on. He's like, I want that. And then he was like, you want my championship? Like, that's what this is all about? He said, no. And he pointed again to his chest. He goes, I want your soul. He's like, I'll see you March 1st at Elimination Chamber. So The Rock's somehow going to play. And I don't know. The rumor is that he's not going to be at Mania for other obligations that he has. But it's interesting. It's interesting.
What other? It's not like I could see if like they sprung Mania on him and they're like, like Dwayne. Hey, it'd be like it's like, hey, I'm throwing a party this weekend. You want to swing by? Oh, you know what? I'm going to be out of town. I'm not going to be able to make it. It's like no. They know where this is going to be for like years. How does he not like work it into his schedule? It's not like he's making a bunch of.
That's why I'm led to believe that maybe he is going to be there.
How do you not work that in?
Yeah, I'm led to believe that maybe he will be there. Like. It's one day.
They're
like
faking everybody.
You can't fly in on the Sunday WrestleMania. Like you have filming on a Sunday. Like no, you don't. Like you could get on a fucking private jet and you. But I'm sure he's rich enough. He has time travel or he has a portal, and he could just portal like there.
And I don't think like. When was the last time he like? I don't think he's making any movies. You know, I mean, I know he's in the Moana movie or whatever, but like. You know,
that's already been. I think it's already been filmed too. That's done.
Yeah, like I don't see him. I know they have stuff to do for the production, whatever. But it's not like he's filming San Andreas 2 or fucking Rampage 2. You know, it's like no one. He's not making any of those shitty movies anymore. Like he's beyond that. Like he's like, I'm on the board. I'm worth he's worth.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that he's not going to be somehow part of WrestleMania. I refuse to believe it. He may not be. That's fine. And speaking of that, though, I think Cuz mentioned it on the thread or whatever. But I mean, I always take this with a grain of salt because I think the vocal minority online is like maybe 5% of the actual wrestling audience. Like when you really think about it. But some people are really they're fatiguing on the WWE product because it's too slow. And like it's not, we get all these seeds planted and all this stuff, and then nothing happens. I mean, think of all the things that Cuz jizzes his pants over. As Karrion Kross, as the seeds are planted. I'm like, they've been planted for like 2 years. Like, when is a fucking plant gonna grow? Stop.
We're in
Stop
we're in the
watering
second
it with,
inning, dude.
yeah.
You gotta wait out. We're in the second inning.
Yeah, it's like it's just.
I'm not interested in Karrion Kross's second.
There are some things that I'm just like, can you like some things I'm like, you don't need to milk it out for 6 months to a year. Let's just give it to me now so I know what you're doing. Can
I kind of fill in on that because I was thinking about this too. I think the one thing that is, and people try to say it, but they don't. I don't think they say it the way I believe in it. Every PLE at this point, this year and most of last year has been probably no more than 4 or 5 matches, which is great when in the realm of fatigue. But I think like you could squeeze in one more match at the majority of these PLEs,
That's
and
what
I
I've been
wouldn't be
saying.
that offended. Yeah, one more match. And my issue too is like you just came out with these women titles, which are great. I'm so glad they did it. But they're at this point they're never going to be featured on a PLE.
Not because they're not women's title,
room.
but it's just the division's not big enough. I hate the titles. I'm sorry. Like a women's US and Intercontinental.
I don't mind it because I think NXT is going to bring up a huge batch of more women to hopefully fill that out because
that would be fine. That would be fine.
There's a plethora of it, but my issue is where are you going to put that title? If you're just going to defend it on Raw and SmackDown, you already it loses luster anyway. So I think you got to have some of those secondary titles, more of them on these PLEs. Try to get 1 to maybe 2 more matches in there. I know that sounds really weird because we just talked about WrestleMania in New Orleans. You guys were like, we were so fucking tired because there was like 15 matches. That's overkill.
It's like 5
hours long. It wasn't because there was 15 matches. It's because the event was 7.5 hours long. That's why we were fatigued.
So long.
Like WrestleMania 3 had like 19 matches on it, and granted, like a lot of them were like 30 seconds or like
sure.
but
it was a tight 3 hours.
Everything was really tight, and because the entrances took 30 seconds, not 9 minutes. Like
Right.
that's what I'm fatigued on. I don't want to yeet for fucking 10 minutes before to watch Jey Uso's shitty match.
He wants that from you, though.
Like I don't want to like. I got it when it was Roman and Roman's coming down. It's like it was special and he had these long this long entrance and it was like
he's the man. He is the man.
But now everybody gets it. Like Seth stands like, and I like Seth, but like Seth is out there for like what feels like a half an hour, letting people do the thing. Like Jey Uso's thing. Like Jey Uso came on what was on Raw. Like the first 15 minutes of Raw was just his entrance, and it was like, dude, I'm bored. They went to commercial break twice in the time it took them to come down to the fucking ring, and I'm like, I'm bored of this. I'm goddamn bored. Like that's why the PLEs only have 5 matches on it. It's because they want to see Jey Uso for fucking a 10-minute entrance.
And to your point, Joe, before we hit record, it's the fucking ads, dude. Like they have to show us all these ads and commercials and shit. Like, so we have 4 matches in a 3.5 hour show because they always creep over 3 hours now. And then there's 4 fucking matches. So we watch the poors can't see the build-up packages, but you have to watch the build-up packages.
I'm sorry, I don't speak poor.
You have to watch the build-up packages, or if you're less fortunate, you have to watch like just a bunch of ads, and then they have ads within the show that aren't part of like the you can't watch this if you don't pay this tier of the membership, and then like they have all that. So it's like I would say 30% of the show is maybe wrestling, and the rest of it is ads and promos and all this stuff. It's like, come on, man. Like, I wanted a little bit faster. Like, I love their production. I love what they're doing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to jump out of the WWE ship right now, but at the same time, like, I can understand. Now, people are cancerous, and the internet wrestling community are a bunch of bitches.
I get it.
But I mean, and they have to,
I get what they're saying.
They have to go. But if you just strip everything down, their fucking tough talk and all the other bullshit that they think they know, like, I get it. Like I see what's going on, but and then also we're suffering hangover from last year. Last year was probably one of the greatest buildups to WrestleMania of all time. Like of all the WrestleManias, it was the hottest last year. So yeah, of course, this is the year after the biggest fucking payoff in WrestleMania history, and it's a little bit of a hangover. We're feeling fatigue from it.
Well, and also to jump on your point of like that they're jamming it. That there's so much fluff in the show, whether it's 10-minute intros or a bunch of ads or whatever. Don't tell me there's only going to be 5 matches on a card, and then squeeze all this other shit in there, and then want to do a 2-night SummerSlam just so you can jack up prices and put 5 matches on each day when you could have just put 8 matches on one card. Right. Or, you could have put those 10 matches on one card, and now you're trying to squeeze it into 2 days with twice as much fluff and twice as much bullshit, like that's what, that's what I'm fatigued about.
And then, it's weird too, because they're going to be so transparent. Like when business does go down, and everything ebbs and flows, right? When business does go down, we're going to know that they're admitting it when they just start going down to 1 days and all the other pay-per-views. Like when they're going to be like, yeah, SummerSlam this year, it's just going to be 1 day. Just let's not talk about it. I'm like, well, 1 day because you're not doing good? They're like, no. We're just saying it's just 1 day. 2 days is a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. And I'm like,
I mean, we've kind of been talking about this off of the air, so to speak, but every major company is ramping up costs and adverts, everything they can do, until eventually the consumer is going to be like, this is bullshit. And then it'll hopefully retract. But right now, at the moment, that's not. I mean, they're not.
It's never a problem until it is.
Yeah, exactly. And everything is sold out. Everything's a record right now when it comes to not when it comes to draw necessarily, but they are selling out consecutively every
dude,
Raw.
They're putting I think they had 14,000 people.
And they break
on
records
SmackDown
every
tonight.
PLE. And Craig has said it, because you jack up the prices. Of course, you're breaking records every PLE because every time they get more expensive.
Well, they also SummerSlam used to be in a stadium of 18, 19,000. Now they're putting it in like 50, 55,
they're putting 60, it in outdoor stadiums. Yeah.
And on top of that, they raise the prices. So yeah, of course they're going to be breaking records or whatever.
It's not even a question.
So we'll get back to. Oh, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
No, go ahead. We're getting off topic.
No, I mean, we're going to get back to WWE. I have that last year. I wanted to shift gears and go over to last weekend where we had AEW Grand Slam in Australia, and we also had NXT Vengeance, I think it was. Cuz is going to hate me. Well, that's what he gets for not being on, so fuck him. He's Cuz is our resident NXT guy or whatever, but NXT, I did watch the highlights, and I went back and watched a couple matches when I had. It was an excellent show. Like, it is a really good product. So I don't have any numbers from that or whatever. It was a smaller venue. I think they had like 6,000-7,000 people. So, but I mean, it was really good. You know, Jordan Grace like showed up, and they're starting to Moose showed up from TNA. So they're starting to really like lean heavily now on the WWE TNA relationship, which is awesome. Great. It was a great show. That's why I wish Cuz was on because he could speak on it.
I saw some of the moveset from Jordan Grace on socials this week. It was, dude, she's amazing. She's
a star. Good. We all talked about it when she was in TNA, how great she was and how much better. It's not even to watch her grow and develop over the last couple of years, or more than a couple of years actually, has been a pleasure. Like, she is a talent, and I love that she's there. I can't wait until she gets on the main roster and starts fucking people up, man, because she's really good. Yeah. She's awesome, man.
You saw what she did to Piper at Royal Rumble. Like, Piper.
And then Ricky Starks is now Ricky Saints. He had to change his name, obviously. He can't be Ricky Starks anymore. But, you know, fuck you, AEW, for letting him go. I don't know how you do that. Like, the guy's got charisma. He's not.
How'd you keep him off TV for a year too?
Fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I'm so glad for him because I watched him when he was with NWA, and I really enjoyed him, and I really thought he was awesome. I saw LA Knight.
He's gonna do good things.
Him and LA Knight when they were in NWA, and then LA Knight went to TNA. Like, they were great, and I loved him back then. So I'm really glad that he's getting a shot. AEW's lost, man. Like they can afford to just let people go, you know, at this point, and
especially people that are that talented.
Yeah, it's just really stupid.
It's one thing to let lower tier, but you know, like he was a rising star, you know, and like a following, charismatic. I mean, the guy's talented. Like,
yeah.
You have to feel like he upset somebody over there because he was just off TV.
Well, and that's the problem is like when you're making money and when you're making money for the company, there should be no problems. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a leader over there. I don't know. We can go on. We've talked about AEW forever. You know, there needs to be a leader over there that cannot let that stupid shit happen. Just because someone's not the most popular person in school, if they're making the money for your company, it should get pushed. You should just push them and just stop. Just because the Young Bucks don't like them, just fucking push them. Just who cares what they think? Like, you know, just because Jericho doesn't like them, just push him anyway. Just do that anyway.
It's the Click 2025.
It really is, and it's gonna tear down a whole promotion if they're not careful. But so I'll go over AEW Grand Slam. The big controversy coming out of it, we all laughed about it, was the ring size. You know, at first this bullshit story came out that they forgot to bring the ring over, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. AEW didn't forget. Even when WWE toured Australia, they rent local rings that are out there. It's why do that? Why waste that money to transfer your ring all the way to Australia? It makes no sense.
That's all fair enough, man. But if you knew that ring was going to be a 16 by 16 and you still didn't do anything about it, that's even worse.
Well, okay,
that thing was tiny.
So I heard
it was tiny.
We hear that it's 16 by 16 because Matthew said that on his thing. That it was 16 by 16. All the reports that are coming now was 18 by 18. That they only have 18 by 18.
I can't.
2 feet is a big deal, like, because AEW is like WWE, they're 20 by 20. Like, so, but in 18, because I think WCW was 18 by 18, and it was noticeably different from WWF, when we were watching when we were younger. So I believe it was 18 by 18. However, I also believe that independent rings, they don't change out their, like, the boards as often as they should. They don't do that stuff. So when Buddy Matthews slipped on his entrance and twisted his ankle, he said the boards were separated, so it caused a buckle, and that's where his foot got caught. So I don't even know if it's shame on them, Dave. Like, they're not going to bring their ring over there. And WWE didn't do that when they toured either. And so it's like, it's not fair to hold AEW for that standards. Yes, you should have some kind of quality control because you have men and women that are getting in there and putting their bodies on the line, and you should have the best quality product. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying, I think that this subject, now we're critiquing AEW for their rings on a foreign tour in Australia for one night. We're really so end AEW. Let's bring them down. You know, like,
I'm not trying, and I don't feel like I knock them all that much. Maybe the storytelling a little bit. I wish they would. But my thing is like,
because you don't.
I'm not that bad at it. I get really weird. Like, you're gonna have this big promotion, and Jess, you kind of went off on it more than I did. I was very surprised by it, but I was under the impression this was going to be a big PLE just to be
that's a whole
Saturday night.
Oh God,
that's a whole other debacle. That's a whole
other can of worms of the way they promoted this.
A lot of things like that, I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense. And I guarantee you, WWE does not probably bring their rings to Saudi. I mean, maybe there's probably another way to do it, but they make sure they're the right size, and they probably
that's fair enough.
The quality of those things. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair enough. But at the same time, too, like AEW is not the WWE. And I think I know people are like, well, they try to pretend they are. I'm like, I just think they're trying to pretend to be the best they could be.
I don't think that they do. No, they're trying to be different.
I think they're just trying to put on a product that like that people are going to enjoy. I mean, they're not trying like.
For all the things that he's doing wrong, that Tony Khan's doing wrong, I don't think that Tony Khan is doing anything to hurt anything on purpose. That makes no sense.
No.
Even me saying it out loud feels funny. Like, it's just, but some people think that he's doing it on purpose. And I'm like, why? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that makes no sense. Like, people are just misguided. But they did, to go back to it, they had a really good show. I thought AEW Grand Slam.
Yeah.
I thought if I had to compare the two, I think from what I saw from the NXT, I have a feeling NXT was a little better. Like a little bit better energy. It was one of their bigger shows, right? Like it was a Saturday show. It was like their PLE. So this was like airing in the same slot as Collision.
Did you want to run through it though, buddy?
Yeah. So right here, I have the graphic up here. The opening match was Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega against Takeshita and Fletcher and Takeshita. Sorry, I always fucking say his name wrong. I don't know why. Takeshita and Fletcher. Best match of the night. I mean, just absolute best match of the night. And Ospreay and Omega ended up going over. I thought it was just the best match of the night. I mean, I don't have a grade for it, but it was really good. Like, I figured it was going to be. I think last week I said I can't wait to watch that match. So that's awesome. And then it set up some other matches later for AEW Revolution. We'll go over that. The second match
sounds like it's also setting up a little bit of Kenny and Ospreay kind of going, because there's all this, well, Kenny's a little slower, he had to slow down.
Yeah.
And, blah, blah. There's some good story stuff that's coming out of that. Hopefully that they develop that a lot more. So
Mercedes Moné defended her TBS championship against Harley Cameron. A good match, not as good as the opener. It was really good. And Harley has not used to being on the big stage like this or whatever. Coming in, she had a lot of momentum. She did those funny vignettes with the ventriloquist puppet and that mocked. And I thought that was awesome. I think that's what you need. That's the kind of spark you need. And this is why I support promotions like AEW, so you could see the Harley Camerons like come out and maybe just see something.
Right.
And, it's kind of a lawless, promotion or whatever, which kind of hurts them in the long run. But for these younger people that are just kind of not watched, they could just be creative and they could just be like, oh, I'm just going to do this. And can I do this thing yet?
Try something.
Yeah. And credit to her. And it was a good match. This was a pretty solid match, but Mercedes did beat her. I was a little disappointed. I really wanted to see a shocker out there and Cameron win, but it didn't happen. But it was a good match. Then we had the Brisbane Brawl, which is pretty much a, fight all over the arena between the Death Riders, which is Claudio and Moxley, against Edge. I refuse to call him Cope, and Jay White. Really solid match. A lot of people were really pissed about the ending on this. So Moxley ended up choking Cope out, and Cope just passed out, and the match was over, and that's how he won. People were like, man, it made Cope look really weak. I was like, well, I expect Cope now to win in the main event of Revolution because it's going to be for the title at Revolution, which is Moxley against Cope. Yeah. So I feel that they might pull the title change and put it on Cope. If I was running AEW, I would 1,000% do that. Not because I think Edge is my future, but I don't know who the Death Riders are. They just come out every week, and they're Moxley's group, which is awesome. And I like the fact that he's trying to get some of the people that have not been featured over. I really appreciate that from Moxley. If people want to shit on this gimmick and it's boring because there's no baby face that's chasing, right? When we had the NWO come about, first of all, that was a cool concept. But Sting was the guy from early on that they just built for a year, and you wanted Sting to get down from those rafters and beat the shit out of Hogan. Like, you just wanted it. And that's what they don't have with the Death Riders. The formula that they're trying to do to put the Death Riders over as like this group that can't be controlled, I'm not opposed to it. It's been done a billion times in wrestling, but they're lacking the face, the future. Maybe they let Kenny Starks go too early. Heaven forbid you push someone like that. Or why did MJF's a heel? MJF should be your face right now and chasing Moxley. That would be a money-making feud.
Turning him heel was a
just
huge
so
mistake.
Stupid. So right now they're putting Cope in there. He's got the WWE dust on him, right? Because we all know where he came from. We all know where he's been forever. He was only in WWE his whole career. And so, that's what they're doing. take the title off them, and then have the Death Riders go through like a little like self-reflection, right? Like, you guys failed me, you guys should have been. And then I think that Moxley should have like a segment where he punishes all of his members and puts them in these impossible matches that they have to win in order to, I don't think you guys are Death Rider through and through. I think that, and then we're going to learn about the Death Riders. How about give them all different nicknames? Instead of just his name being Claudio, like he was on the Indies, maybe he's the assassin, Claudio Casanole, whatever. I don't know. But then like stretch it out to where they're regrouping and they're figuring it out. And maybe they kick out Wheeler Yuta and now you have a new babyface because they don't think Yuta's solid enough. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then they bring in another member that like replaces Yuta and then they kind of revitalize the group. I want to know who the Death Riders are. So I would not be opposed if Cope beats him and then they have to fucking, for like 3 weeks, you see these vignettes or these in-ring promos where he's kind of shitting on his crew for not supporting. You're supposed to support me, Moxley. That'll make him a worse heel. Everyone will hate him because they're like, fuck you, bitch. You're the one that got pinned, but they didn't fucking help me. Like, and it's like, you need that. You need this unhinged leader and then you need your crew to prove themselves. And maybe you give them all new nicknames, Now that Claudio tonight, as punishment, you get to face FDR in a handicap match. If you lose, you're done. You're out of the group. But if you somehow beat them, and I'm not saying sacrifice FDR, to do that, but or another tag team or something, you put them up against an odd. So you make them earn their spots again. And then now he's like, now you guys have been rechristened. Give them new gear so they all match. Heaven forbid. You know what I mean? It's just tell us who the Death Riders are. That's all I want to know. I just want to know who they are. I want to know who my neighbors are, baby. That's all I want to know. And that's so. But this match was good, and Edge loses, and people were pissed. I'm like, you would have been pissed if he won. So stop it right now. Nothing AEW does with the Death Riders is going to get over until
you're not going to be happy about it.
Yeah, so, but it was a really, really good match. I really liked it.
I do want to echo one thing is that I don't want to call him Cope either.
You shouldn't. I support that a million percent.
That's so dumb.
Then we had Okada defend his AEW Continental Championship against Buddy Matthews. This was such a great match. And it's so funny. I don't know what they're doing with Okada. But he, on purpose, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the Okada from New Japan Pro Wrestling, he's been a 4 or a 5 the entire time he's been here on purpose. You watch him and he is holding back on purpose. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I don't know what they're...
He's a heel.
Well, he's great as a heel, by the way. I love him, and he's just absolutely wonderful. And to me, I'm like, why don't you fucking make him the heel champion? Fuck the Death Riders. You got...
I mean, I hate to say it, it's not totally... I'd say it's similar. It's when Io was a heel champion, Io Sky had maybe 20% of her actual moveset. When she lost the title and was scratching and clawing and doing all these matches again, everything came back. Io is... in my opinion, probably the best female wrestler on the planet right now. When it comes to moveset and everything in that realm of it. But she didn't use hardly any of it when she was champion because she was a chicken shit heel. And she had her faction protecting her. Okada, there's not much of a faction, but he's a heel. He shouldn't have to do much. And
also too, it's funny, right? This was Buddy Matthews' best match in AEW by far.
100%.
But this and that was Okada being 50%. That's crazy, how good this match was. It was really good.
And how Buddy did it after he busted his ankle in the beginning from the ring.
Yes, that's what we were talking about earlier.
How did he do that?
Yeah, he twisted his ankle pretty bad and shook it off. You watch him when he did it live, he started walking straight on purpose because he was in his mind, he's like, I'm not hurt, I'm fucking wrestling. And that's awesome. Buddy Matthews is fucking brilliant, man. I love the guy. I really do. And I love Okada, and it was a great match. I mean, I didn't think Buddy was
I just hope
win.
he didn't cause too much crazy damage from doing
I think we would have heard by now, but I think he's going to recover. I hope so. I mean, I really hope so.
He probably just preventative on the crutches. Hopefully it'd be fine.
Yeah, and then we had
I thought this was match of the night.
We had our main event. Mariah May lost the title to Timeless Toni Storm. Look, yes. It's divided about what she did, where she was pretending that she was the regular Toni Storm with amnesia the last few months or whatever. Right. I thought it was brilliant. I loved it. Some people were like, whatever. I'm like, so if AEW does something that's creative and different, you hate it. But then if they did,
right.
Yeah, you hate it, but then if they didn't do anything at all, you'd hate it too. So it's AEW's in this bad spot where they can't do
even
when they do good shit, everybody hates it.
Damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Yeah, it's but what a WCW 2000 spot they're in. It's where
if you take storyline and character work, this is probably the greatest characterization work of a change of any wrestler in the last 3 years if you compare it all. And then by storylines, it's one of the best storylines. It probably rivals in the top 5, and the other ones are all WWE storylines because they're so great. But this is by far the best storyline that AEW has done since the MGF title run.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was just below the tag team, Dave. However, I say it's a close second best match of the night.
It was a really good match too. On top of all that,
but the storyline put it over well because the storyline's been great to me. Like so, it doesn't matter what flaws there are in the storyline. The fact that they've been a solid telling storyline, and Mariah May is going to come back. Like everybody knows that. But I love that Toni Storm's a face now, which she should have been at the beginning. It's like when she was heel the first time and she was popular, I was like, just turn her face, man. Like you guys try to make her heel all the time. She's just the best thing going right now. Like to me,
but sometimes you need that little bit of a heel turn for it to be fun and people to get behind it.
The WWE women's division is better by far, in my opinion. However, I think the AEW women's division has grown by leaps and bounds over the past year. Toni Storm has been a shining thing. Mariah May is a star. Like she's really great. The fact that you got to give Mercedes credit for flushing Cameron out. Right now we have somebody else that people want to see more vignettes for. We didn't know she was that funny and that talented, and now she can do it more. So I think that only good things are going to come from this. The AEW women's division has been so improved over the past year or so.
There's great bright spots in AEW, and this is one of them.
And the ratings for this, so they didn't even have a time slot for this show because all the NBA All-Star Game and all that stuff that was going on. So when they were advertising, it wasn't in the original Collision spot. It was later.
No.
And they didn't even say, they just said it's going to start when the show's over, when the NBA's done. That's basically what they said. And it still got 500,000 views on TBS or TNT. I don't remember which one it was on. And that does not count the max views. So it probably did like 700,000, which is like big for Collision in that time slot. And they had a big lead in though too.
I'll tell you, I waited for it to start, and it was hard because I don't usually stay up that late because I'm old. But like I waited up until the Toni Storm match and I got it done. I watched it because I was really looking forward to Toni and Mariah May. That's why I tuned in, and that's why it was the main event.
The first segment, the first 15 minutes of the show, because of the lead-in from the NBA, and people just probably left their TVs on. They got 1 million. They had 1 million viewers. Like in the first 15 minutes. So, and then it did dwindle down obviously as the night went on, but it didn't start until almost 11 o'clock Eastern time. So that's,
that's a tough time slot to like start the event at 11:30 at night.
If it was on its regular time slot, I'm confident that it probably would have done very, very well. Like it was a good show and it was something different. And like, the fact that they just kind of relied on the NBA lead in like was sort of a good thing and a not good thing. But I thought this was a really good show overall. Like I really thought it was fine for it. And I think the ratings are good. I've seen some people say, what a joke the ratings were. I'm like, it's better than what it was normally getting. Like, honestly, it was like a 71% increase over the regular Collision rating. So, okay, like take it and run.
Just kind of running with AEW. I think Craig posted on the thread today, like, it seems we're going to be getting PLEs from like 2021 to 2024 on Max for AEW.
On March 1st, all of the pay-per-views will finally be available on March 1st.
They're just going to release them. That's going to be dope. Yeah. We'll have to go back and go. So now we can get into that library.
Again, that's a different episode altogether about how, to me, I still think they're fumble fucking this whole thing. And like Joe said he was trying to watch Grand Slam and he couldn't fucking find it because they don't, when it's live, they don't, when you log on to Max, it should be the first thing you fucking see when it's live. And it's
it doesn't work that way. You have to actually search for it.
You have to go to the BR Sports. You have to go to the BR Sports on the side and pick it up. It's bullshit.
It's such a fucking pain.
Tony Khan needs to hire
if you log on the Peacock, like during a PLE, like that's the first thing that pops up.
It's right there.
A good media director, if he hired a good media director to fix that shit in a second, like, but he just, and that's really a big part of their problem was people not being able to find their shit, really, when you think about it.
But I'll be straight with you. Max has a problem with that in general, especially with sports. Like, there was a nice little Canadian U.S. hockey like final tournament yesterday. Nobody knew about it. No one knew it was happening, but it was on Max. They have NBA on Max. They have all this great stuff, but like to find it is like the hardest thing in the world. It's not just AEW that has that problem, in my opinion. It's a Max search issue, especially for sports. And I don't know how they don't. I don't know how they don't put that to the front line. That they have a live sports event that you can watch right meow. Like Lakers Celtics, right meow. Like watch this thing.
Yeah, like when you go when a WWE PLE is on and you tune on Peacock, it's the first thing that pops up.
That's what Joe was saying. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
or at least have it as like as you're scrolling through the homepage that there's a link. I had to like at least maybe I didn't see it. I had to go and go to the search bar and type in AEW.
Yeah, Joe. I have to do the same. I have to do it for Dynamite and Saturday shows. I have to do the same thing. If I just start looking at AEW down the line, the live event won't be there. You have to go into search, type in AEW, and then you'll see several boxes, and one will say live, and you got to click on it. And that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to it should be one of those top 5 things that are scrolling through on your screen. AEW's live right now. I don't know why that's not.
To end this and move on, of course they're fucking this up. Of course they are. It's the biggest thing falling in their lap right now. And it's the most modern thing, streaming, that everybody else is doing. And you finally did it. And of course they're fucking it up.
Again, I don't know if it's AEW. I think it's the platform, but
it might be. But I mean,
it's AEW not following up with that. I mean, like imagine instead of going to Peacock, WWE went to Max.
Yeah, you think that would be the same in Max? They'd be all over it.
They'd be losing their shit. Yeah, it wouldn't even have happened. Like,
to your point, it's on Netflix, and it's the first thing you see for Raw. As soon as it's on, it's right. Yeah. It's right in your face. It's coming on in 10 minutes. Like, it's right there. So yeah, I'm with you. But again, I'm glad they're on the platform. I'm glad that finally got done. So I'm not complaining. I've seen more AEW than I've seen in years, and I'm very excited.
Good. That is good. And I'm hearing it's kind of positively affecting them. So I hope they just take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Now I want to shift gears real quick, and we'll get off the AEW horse. AEW Revolution is going to be on March 9th, Sunday. It's going to be at the formerly known as Staples Center, the Crypto Arena. When I first heard they were going there, I was like, oh boy, like, this isn't fucking 2022, right? This is 2025. And that's going to be a big get. However, the original configuration was setting it up for only 8,000, but they sold those 8,000 tickets, and now they've opened it up to 12,000. So we might get 10 to 12,000 at the Crypto, which will look totally fine. You know, when WWE wasn't doing so well, and they would bring Raw there, they would just pull the stage up, and they were only getting like 12,000 people, 10,000 people, like, for a Raw.
Right.
So I mean, this should look good, and I'm excited for it. So they have positive stuff. Good. And the match card, really quick, we got Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher in a fucking steel cage. That's absolutely going to steal the show. I'm so excited for that. Then we got Takeshita against Kenny Omega. That's how you say his name, right? Takeshita. God damn it. I don't know why I always say his name wrong. I don't know why. It's just something in my brain that will not allow me to say his name wrong. Takeshita against Kenny Omega for the singles match for the AEW International Championship. That's going to be absolutely wonderful. Then you have MJF versus Hangman Page. I am underwhelmed by MJF's performance. I really don't understand what's going on with him. But I know
it's so flat.
So weird. It's so weird what happened to him, and I don't know why.
I wonder if he's happy right now. There's something going on there.
But you got to think that he's the one that chose to come back as a heel. You got to think he's the one that chose that. Because if they have no law over there, and they probably let MJF do what he wants to do,
it's a mistake. We all said it was a mistake.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't get it. But MJF against Hangman Adam Page should be a really good match. But I'm really disappointed in MJF, to be honest. And even Hangman Page, I'm disappointed in him too. But they should put on a good match.
They had the worst. Did you watch Dynamite this week? Their opening segment.
It went way too long. It was 10 fucking plus minutes.
First, it went way too long, and MJF is kind of doing this thing. I'm better than you. I'm better looking than you. I'm a better wrestler than you. What do you do better than me? And you're expecting this great comeback from Hangman Page. He's like, I am real. And it was that was the dumbest thing that you could say.
That's the dumbest thing you could say right now. Yeah, and it went way too long.
I finger paint better than you do. Sorry.
I'm I don't even actually know what that means at all. I am real.
What's MJF been doing with Jarrett these past few weeks and all these other people? They don't mean anything anymore. I'm okay, what are you doing? There's just some things where I'm I don't know what's happening right now.
Jarrett's also been taking up way too much TV time. That's just ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I don't mind a little cute little, angle with him, but you bring MJF out there and then you make this big, he says all these mean things about, Jeff Jarrett's past drug abuse and all that and taking his wife from him and all that stuff, and then they don't even have a fucking match. I'm what are we doing then? What? Right. I don't understand.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Exactly.
But they're fighting. They're fighting at Revolution. And then we have
Mox. You talked about Mox and Cope.
Mercedes Moné will take on Momo to defend the TBS championship. We don't know a lot about Momo, but she'll be, I'm sure it's going to be a good match. I'm sure it's a hand-selected opponent by Mercedes. And then the main event is Mr. Moxley defending his title against Cope. I think Cope should win it. That's just my call on it. But if they're really tripling down on the Death Rider thing, then Moxley will win it. And then maybe they're going to have him lose it at All In. They're going to try to milk it all the way out to the summer, which might be a mistake. Because, listen, even though I defend the gimmick, it's not working, the Death Rider. So they need to do something that kind of changes it around. So
to shake it up.
Yeah, to shake it up for sure. But I think Cope should. I don't think if Cope wins it, and then they just announced the other pay-per-view. It's in Arizona. Double or Nothing. Which is before All In Texas is going to be in May. So I mean, I don't feel why can't Cope win it and then lose it in May back to Moxley? Like I mean, it could definitely happen. So I think maybe, and I look forward to probably like maybe 2 or 3 more matches being added to this card over the next couple of weeks. So it should be a solid show. Like they're trying. God damn it, they're trying, man. I just I don't know.
Yeah. They're working hard. They're working hard.
Yeah, they're working hard.
They don't really have bad matches. For
it's Dave's favorite phrase. Now we're going to shift gears over. We're going to go to Elimination Chamber, and we're going to give totally different numbers here. There's going to be 30,000 fans in Toronto. They've sold almost 30,000 tickets, like to be in that fucking building. So yeah, it's going to be fucking hot, and you know that the audience is going to be hot and passionate and all that stuff. So I have the card right here too. Our fabulous 4 matches are going to be on the card, but you got the chamber matches too. So Sami Zayn's going to take on Kevin Owens, which will be fucking brutal and awesome and amazing. And that crowd's going to be so fucking live for those two. It's going to be insane. Oh, yeah. How crazy those crowds going to be. Yeah. Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus are going to take on Nia Jax and Candice LeRae in a tag team match, which will no doubt, I'm sure Charlotte will have something to do with it and continue to set up the Mania match between her and Tiffany Stratton. Maybe Trish will turn. Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen. But I think that's interesting and that's fun.
She's going after that title.
Yep. And then we have the Women's Elimination Chamber match. The winner will take on Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 41. We have Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. And I've heard rumors that they're actually going to put that Bianca is going to turn heel and they're going to have her win, and she's going to be the one that beat up Jade. And that's what everyone is kind of like. I disagree with Jade being a face, but Triple H probably knows what he's doing. So I mean, I think that that's going to be like really good. And I just heard rumors that Bianca might win or whatever. She may not. So who knows? Like who's going to end up taking on Rhea? Do you go with Liv Morgan, who like has been feuding with her and might still be a really good match? What do you do? But I don't see Bayley winning. I don't see Naomi winning. I don't see Roxanne Perez winning. Alexa Bliss, maybe.
Maybe.
But they are going to she's so cheered right now. Like I don't know why you would risk her getting booed against Rhea.
But Bianca Rhea is just a better it will be a better Mania match, I think.
I think the athleticism in that match,
it'll be more interesting. It's something we haven't seen yet. And I don't know. I just like, as much as I like Alexa and I like the push and I like everything that she's doing, like character wise, there's just something about like
she just came back too.
She just came back. I just don't see them throwing her back in like that. Bianca's been sidelined for some time now.
They threw Charlotte in like that, which still doesn't make sense to me. But yeah.
And then we have the men's Elimination Chamber match. We have Jonathan Cena, Charles Murphy Punk. I don't know. It's not CM. I'm just trying to. CM Punk, the uncrowned heavyweight champion Drew McIntyre, of course, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth freaking Rollins. This match, if it doesn't steal the goddamn show, I don't know what we're doing. Maybe I will start to side with the people that start to say that the WWE is slipping, because I don't know how this match cannot fucking burn it all down.
I mean, I don't know how it's not Cena or Punk, right? I mean, at this point, because it's.
I don't even know, man.
That match is stacked.
So so this person's going to take on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, because we all know that Uso chose Gunther. Is John Cena going to get this cool main event spot like against Cody? Are they going to tease the Cody heel turn, and John Cena is the ultimate babyface and Cody's our modern day ultimate babyface? But they could do something real cool with that. Will John Cena turn heel to teach Cody a lesson? This is why you keep on the path that you're on. I didn't turn heel when they told me to turn heel, and I'm glad I didn't do it. So do we do this? Is it time for CM Punk? Does CM Punk get his WrestleMania main event? I'm not saying he'll beat Cody, but does he get his WrestleMania main event? I don't know.
Right? Do they? What do we think of? Like, do they? I don't want to say water it down, but do they kind of head fake it and give us a fit like a 3-way? Is it CM Punk, John Cena,
The Rock
and
said something about I
Cody?
want your soul and I'll see you at Elimination Chamber. So will The Rock play into it? I don't know.
Maybe that's what that meant.
That 3-way? He's all fucking 3. He's all threesome. I mean 3-way. Fuck. Whoops.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that, but if they want to, they'll find a way to do it.
I mean, man, like it's probably just me. It's probably just me, but like I am gaining. I've always been a fan of his. I know I mocked him a little bit because he was the first world heavyweight champion. I call it TV title, but I mean, like it was nothing against Seth's talent.
Understood.
My like kind of like emotions and like sort of like he's fucking due. Seth is due. Like I feel bad for his character. I'm like, he's fucking been the only one that's ever, and now he's coming out there going, I've always fucking hated Roman. Like, I hit him in the back because, you know, when I broke up the Shield, because he's a piece of shit. It was never me. He's the piece of shit. And like, now he's back and he's still the same piece of shit Roman that he was before. Like, he's just getting his old buddies, like, you know, and Sammy's blindly following him. That's why Kevin Owens is against Sammy, because he's like, you just were blindly following Roman. Like, he treated you like shit. Like, you had to turn against him at Royal Rumble and hit him with the chair in order to wake him up.
That's why I think he won't win, though, because he's got business with the Bloodline. You notice the Bloodline's nowhere near this match.
I have to be honest, too. Like, I would love Roman versus Seth at WrestleMania. I would love it.
Yeah.
Like, so
that's what they have to figure out for some for them to do. That seems more interesting.
You know, and they did it at Royal Rumble where they were all fighting on the outside. Or some people are saying that it's still going to be a 3-way. It's going to be CM Punk, Seth, and Roman. But people are like, if it's not for a title, what's the point? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, they're all strong characters. We're all invested in all three of their characters. Yeah. Like, that would be an amazing fucking triple threat match. What are you talking about? Like,
Drew and Punk didn't have a single bit of gold around their waist for the whole feud, and that feud was the feud of the year. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. Like,
yeah.
What are we talking about?
There's a lot of different things that could happen. It could be Cena and Cody. It could be Punk and Cody. It could be, you know, then what does Cena do at Mania? Some people are saying have him face Randy Orton. It's his last WrestleMania, and that's probably his biggest feud from that era. The Cena era was Orton. Like, so, sure. You know, and you put Orton in a profile match, and what do? You know, like, I don't know. But Cena's been doubling down on this, like, I have to win, or I'm going to die. And I was like, okay, you're not going to die. But
like, almost like he's going to have his own Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view somewhere at the end of the year. You can throw a title on him then and bounce it back. You can find a way to give him 17 if you really want to. The question is, do they want to? Do they
I don't think they do. I don't see Triple H. I don't see Triple H doing that. Like, Triple H is too.
If you don't want Cena to break the record, which the record is, you know,
look at him.
You know, Joe.
Look at him when you're
about this.
Look at him when you're talking.
If you don't want that, then there's no reason to put him in the WrestleMania main event whatsoever.
Is it going to be him? I don't know.
So
and maybe
it
that's
should be
why,
this guy. Everybody knows it should be this fucking guy.
Maybe doesn't get in. And maybe that's what the favor is. Maybe that's what CM Punk. That's like CM Punk.
Dave, is it going to be your favorite? Is it going to be Logan Paul?
Logan Paul would put some eyes on it. I'm not going to lie. That could be a serious dark horse that, like, if he got that title shot at WrestleMania. But I don't. Can he fill out the main event picture? I don't know. Damien's not going to do it. Damien and Drew have business.
You look at him and you tell him that he can't do it. You look at him. He used to be homeless. Is that his thing? I'm sorry. I don't mean to like be rude about that, but I think he was like living out of his car.
It's houseless, just
okay, fine, actually. Houseless.
And
look at him. Look at him. He's upset.
No,
he's like,
it's not. It's unhoused. I thought it was unhoused.
It's unhoused. You're right.
Or or I don't know. In San Francisco, I always thought it was unhosed.
Oh no!
You know?
I always thought that Cena turning heel would be the most interesting. Even back when he was an active wrestler, like I thought it would be interesting for Cena to actually, because usually like when Hogan turned, it was just like he turned on WCW and everything, and like all the, you know, hey, whatever, I did it for the kids, shut up fans or whatever. But I thought it would always be interesting if Cena turned, like when, you know, in 2011 or 12 or whatever, like if he actually feuded with the fans and he was like, no, I hate all of you. Like, you guys all boo me, you disrespect me, I hate you. So guess what? Every babyface that you organically like cheer for, I'm going to take them out. And then Cena goes on this run where he's just chasing anyone that the crowd cheers for. Like, he's just all over them. Like, you know, and he's like trying to snuff them out. I thought that would have been the best, like most unique thing where he's actually feuding with the people. Like, he's actually feuding with fans.
By the way, not one title is being defended on this show. And I just wish there'd be one, even if it was like ladies IC or the men's IC, something.
To your point, yeah, you throw in the US or IC title in there for a 5th match, it'll make the card a little bit more.
I think it would just round it out nicely. Just put it somewhere in there. Like, I don't know. That's my only beef right now. Is like the the women's, or I'm sorry, even actually any of the subtitles, for lack of a better term, or the non-world titles that are out there, need more PLE appearances to make them relevant. That's all.
Right. Yeah. No, I think so, and I think it's going to be a good show. Like, what am I going to? Of course, the Elimination Chamber.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be.
However, this needs to be awesome. Like, to your point, Dave, the word that you used was awesome.
Straws, yeah.
This can't be just blah. Like, let's go into WrestleMania with some momentum. Like, I really want to get like more into, like, or to your point, Dave, like, if you don't have a 5th match, have Uso and Gunther there. Maybe they do the contract signing. Why not? Like, you know what I mean? And like, that'll take up a 10-minute segment, and there could be some, a pull apart or whatever. Just give us something, give us some cool shit, Give
us some schmoz or skirmish or something, right?
Yeah, and make sure, and Rhea Ripley better be commentating on the women's cage match, and Cody better be commentating on the men's, It's like, just give us some more filler. Give us some stuff that we can actually watch unfold and progress in front of us, instead of just going, Snickers presents Elimination Chamber, and 18 Snicker commercials.
Even though I enjoy Snickers.
I enjoy the Snickers and the Dominoes and everything they put on the ring. I'm like, I like all of that. I'd like all of that in my mouth.
Actually, but to be fair, like with most advertising that I see online, and now especially with WWE stuff, like the more you put it on there, like the more anything that's on that ring, I'm not purchasing.
You're right, yeah, because now. Yeah,
Again, except for protest with your wallet, Joe. Protest with your wallet.
Except for I guess Netflix, which I have to watch the product. But like,
but isn't that redundant though? Like, you have Netflix on the ring, and we're already watching Netflix. Like, we're already there. Yeah. Like, you did it. You did it. You don't need to be on the ring. It's weird to me.
Real American Beer. I don't see myself purchasing it in the near future.
I do
for so many reasons.
I hate his stupid guts, but
I'm not switching over.
I hate his dumb guts, but like and I'm wearing a shirt that he basically. I really fucking hate Hogan so much. But yeah, I do want to try it. I've never tried it. I just want to try and taste it. So it's like.
I imagine that it's probably gonna taste a whole lot like Bud Light.
Yeah. or
Michelob Ultra.
Lies and Desperation. Possibly.
That too.
Might taste like that.
And a little bit of racism. What?
Hey,
we're after you drink a 6-pack of it, you start just embellishing stories.
You just start making like obvious shit that we could prove wrong in 30 seconds, but you still just double down on it. You're like, no, man. Like,
Jess was the O.W.P champion the whole time. In all of O.W.P seasons, Jess was.
I just started making shit up. I'm like, well, I mean, I was the longest reigning O.W.F heavyweight champion. And you're like, you actually never were. I'm like,
and Joe was 18-time O.W.P champion, broke Cena's record and Flair's record.
Yeah,
it's not even
big. Hell yeah, dude.
Glug.
I got one of the versions right there. Dude, Joe gave it to me.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely.
And the Intercontinental.
Yeah. I guess to be fair, I would like to try it. I already know what it's going to taste like, but
Yeah. Hogan's
just to say that you did. No. I will never buy it.
It's going to taste like.
I'm actually surprised it took them as long as it did to come out with it.
I know, right? Like, it's going to taste like boat water. Everybody knows that. I'm going to drink it. And I'm going to be like, this is fucking lake water, like that a boat's been pissing gas.
It's going to taste like a shoey.
Yeah, just a fucking shoey. But I think that's it. We've covered all the main stuff or whatever. We do have, like I said, AEW Revolution is actually Elimination Chamber will be on March 1st, so we'll be able to. The next week's episode will be the night before or the same day whenever you listen to it. And then AEW Revolution is on the 9th. So we got some good shit coming up. So either way, we're going to have a little fun, huh? But that's my tagline. I'm not going to steal Craig's. Mine is like, let's everybody have a little fun, huh? And then that's it. So I'm just going to abruptly end it right now so we can stop recording.
All right. See you next week.